Hi, welcome back. It is Wednesday, April 1st. We are jumping back into Amelia Bedelia Means Business. We are on chapter 7. The Lemonade Sit. You know, said Amelia Bedelia's father, your mom and I think you should start your own business. And there is one business that any kid can start. What? Said Amelia Bedelia. A lemonade stand, said her dad. Lemonade what? Said Amelia Bedelia. Stand, said her dad. Stand, she said. Stand what? Lemonade, said her dad. Sure, said Amelia Bedelia. I can stand lemonade. I love lemonade. Her father rolled his eyes and said, I know you love lemonade, sweetie. That's why you should make a stand for it. How come? Said Amelia Bedelia. Is someone trying to get rid of it? Amelia Bedelia's dad's face began to turn red. Of course not, he said. You could run a stand. Amelia Bedelia looked bewildered. Dad, she asked, what do you want me to do? Run or stand? Stand, yelled her dad. Stand, stand. Amelia Bedelia jumped to her feet. Okay, she said, I'm standing. Now her dad's face was turning even redder. No, he said, not you. Your customers stand. You can sit. Thank you, said Amelia Bedelia. She sat back down in her chair. Good idea, said her dad. I think I need to sit down too. Amelia Bedelia's mother had been in the kitchen listening to them talk while she finished up. She was carrying a cup of coffee as she came into the living room. She sat down in the arm of her husband's chair. Amelia Bedelia, she said, remember last summer? We made fresh lemonade together. It was delicious, said Amelia Bedelia. And easy, said her mother. Do you remember how we made it? You squeeze juice out of a lemon, mix in with cool water, add sugar until it tastes good. Then throw in a couple of ice cubes. Bravo, said her mother. Then what? Amelia Bedelia shrugged and said, that's easy. You drink it. Or, said her mother, you can sell it. What if you set up a table and made fresh lemonade? Thirsty people would stand in line to drink it. You know, said Amelia Bedelia, that sort of sounds like what Dad was trying to say. Thank you, said Amelia Bedelia's father. Then he turned to his wife and said, and thank you, darling. I couldn't have said it better myself. Amelia Bedelia bought 50 bags of lemons on sale. She used the money she'd saved from her last birthday, her tip from Pete's Diner, plus the $20 she got for her bouquet. Her dad helped her build a stand that was easy to set up and take down. That way, he said, you can put it up wherever you'll get the most customers. Have you thought of a name for yourself? Asked her mom. My name is Amelia Bedelia, she said. That's the name you guys gave me. I meant, said her mom, a name for your business. Something catchy to get people's attention. Yes, said her dad. Think big. How can I? Said Amelia Bedelia. My brain is just one size. Maybe you should advertise, said her mom. If people hear how good your lemonade is, they'll want to try it. Advertise, said Amelia Bedelia. Like the commercials on TV for Wild Bill's Autorama? Of course, said her dad, but not so terrible. Everyone knew about Wild Bill's Autorama. Bill owned a car dealership right downtown. He wore a white 10-gallon cowboy hat. In his TV ads, he shouted over and over and over that to get the best price, you had to buy your new car from Wild Bill's Autorama, the home of the sweet deal. Suddenly, Amelia Bedelia had a great idea. She remembered last summer when her parents had dragged her along to Wild Bill's to look at new cars with them. It was boring and hot. She could really have used a break. If she set up her stand near Wild Bill's Autorama, plenty of thirsty customers would line up for her lemonade when they were tired of looking at cars. Amelia Bedelia hopped on her awful, embarrassing piece of junk bike and rode down to Wild Bill's Autorama. She found the ideal spot for her stand, right near the entrance. Perfect. This was meant to be. She pedaled home as fast as she could. As she turned into her driveway, a great name for her business popped into her head. Hooray! Mom, yelled Amelia Bedelia, do you have any yellow paint left over from when you painted the kitchen? I need to make my sign. Sure, sweetie, said her mom. She also gave Amelia Bedelia brushes and an old bedsheet. Amelia Bedelia spread the sheet out on the driveway and went to work. Her dad had told her to think big, so she drew a lemon as large as the kitchen table and outlined it with black marker. She was in the middle of writing the name for her business right on top of the lemon when her mom and dad came out to peek at what she was doing. Mom! Dad! Stop! hollered Amelia Bedelia. Don't look! I want you to be surprised! They certainly were. So was Wild Bill, and so were the reporters from the TV Action News team, as well as everyone in town. Chapter 8. Amelia Bedelia's Last Stand. The next day, Amelia Bedelia waited until just before lunchtime to open for business. She figured that by then, people would be hot and thirsty and bored enough to want a glass of lemonade. Her parents came along to help. Her dad set up her lemonade stand while her mom unfolded the sign. They attached it to the bottom of the sign for Wild Bill's Autorama. Looking good, said her dad. Terrific name, said her mom. It's perfect, said Amelia Bedelia. I squeeze a whole lemon into every glass. That's a lot. Amelia Bedelia was so proud of her sign. She admired it while her dad set up chairs in front of the stand. Thanks, Daddy, said Amelia Bedelia. Now my customers won't have to stand. This is more like a lemonade sit than a stand. Her father kept checking his watch. I have a surprise for you, he said. I called the television station and told them about your business. They thought it was a really cute idea. They're sending their news team to interview you. Amelia Bedelia jumped up and clapped her hands. Really? Will they make a commercial for me? Nope, said her dad. You'll be a story on News at Noon. That's way better than a commercial. It's the real deal. Dad and I are going inside to look at cars for a few minutes, said her mom. We'll send some customers out here for you. Thanks, said Amelia Bedelia. I'll get ready. She cut lemons in half and put them in a big bowl ready to squeeze. Then she arranged the cups and ice. A few minutes later, a van from the Action News team pulled up. They were her first customers. A reporter and a cameraman walked up to the stand and introduced themselves to Amelia Bedelia. As she talked with them about her business, she made them each a lemonade. The cameraman started shooting the scene. While the reporter began interviewing Amelia Bedelia, To truly appreciate what happened, next you'd have to have seen it on TV. Down at Pete's Diner, Pete and Doris always turned on News at Noon for their lunch crowd. Here is what they saw. Ted Daly here, News at Noon, right outside Wild Bill's Autorama, where another business is having its grand opening. An old-fashioned lemonade stand run by this young lady. It's Amelia Bedelia, said Pete. A policeman who was having pie and coffee at the counter looked up and said, You know her, Pete? I had a run-in with that girl in the park. Pete nodded and said, Officer O'Brien, be glad Doris served you that cherry pie you're eating. They looked back at the TV. Ted Daly told the viewers how Amelia Bedelia made her lemonade while the cameraman shot a close-up. Amelia Bedelia makes every glass by hand. Just lemon juice, cool water, ice, and a bit of sugar, Ted Daly said. Amelia Bedelia handed Ted Daly a glass of lemonade. I use 1 lemonade in each glass, she said. That's a lot, but it tastes better. It's why I call my business Lots of Lemons. As Amelia Bedelia pointed at the sign behind her, the camera pulled back so people watching on television could also see the sign for Wild Bill's Autorama. You folks at home, take it from me, Ted Daly. Amelia Bedelia's lemonade may be a sweeter deal than you'll get at Wild Bill's Autorama. Amelia Bedelia was thrilled. Her dad was right. Being on the news was great. Her lemonade was going to be famous, and maybe, just maybe, she'd make enough money to buy half of the new bike. That's when the camera began to jiggle up and down. The cameraman could not hold it steady because he was laughing so hard. Back at the diner, Pete said, Looks like an earthquake at Wild Bill's. Doris covered her mouth with her hand and gasped, Gracious! Amelia Bedelia's sign makes Wild Bill's cars look like lemons. Pete shut his eyes and shook his head. Back at Wild Bill's, Ted Daly turned around to see what was so funny. He looked at Amelia Bedelia's sign too and doubled over with laughter. Then Wild Bill himself came out to see what was going on. Amelia Bedelia was so impressed to see him in person. He was a real celebrity. Howdy, fellas, said Wild Bill. What can I do for you? Are you in the market for a new car? Ted and his cameraman tried not to laugh, but that just made it worse. What's so funny there, fellas? Asked Wild Bill. Ted pointed to Amelia Bedelia's sign. He was laughing so hard he could barely stand up. Lots of lemons, read Wild Bill. That's a sweet idea on a hot day like this. Then the joke dawned on Wild Bill too. Lots of lemons, he bellowed. Lots of lemons! I don't sell lemons. My cars are the best. My cars are not lemons. Of course not, said Amelia Bedelia. Cars are cars. Lemons are lemons. She handed him a glass of lemonade. Here, she said, my treat. I'm not going to stand for this, he said. You don't have to, said Amelia Bedelia. Have a seat. That's why I brought chairs with me. Wild Bill bent down to look at Amelia Bedelia eye to eye. Little lady, he said, are you mocking me with your lemonade? Oh, no, sir. You're famous, said Amelia Bedelia. She pointed at the TV camera. Everyone knows you. Wild Bill looked straight into the camera. Is that thing on? He said. His face turned from white as a ghost to red to white again. He strode toward the camera, took off his cowboy hat, and used all 10 gallons of it to cover the camera lens. Television screens all over town went dark. Back at the diner, Doris and Pete and the policeman stared up at the blank screen. "Be glad you're not Amelia Bedelia right now," Doris whispered to Pete.
If life hands you lemons, oh, never mind. Like Diana's pink slip, the aftermath of Amelia Bedelia's lemonade stand fiasco was not pretty. Amelia Bedelia took cover in the car.
April Fools! You guys thought she was really going to read it, didn't you? All right. Chapter 9. If life hands you lemons. Oh, never mind. Like Diana's pink slip, the aftermath of Amelia Bedelia's lemonade stand fiasco was not at all pretty. Amelia Bedelia took cover in the car showroom until the grown-ups sorted things out. The TV station agreed to run Wild Bill's commercials for the next 3 months for free. Amelia Bedelia's parents agreed that she would not sell any more lemonade for 30 days, and then, if she still wanted to run her lemonade business, she would stay a mile away from Wild Bill's. Back home, Amelia Bedelia faced a new worry. "What am I going to do with 50 bags of lemons?" she moaned. "I've got 500 lemons." "Well, you know what they say," her dad said. "If life hands you lemons, you make." His voice trailed off. He stopped before he said that dreaded word, lemonade. "You make what?" asked Amelia Bedelia. "You make what?" "You make the best of it," said her mom. Amelia Bedelia's dad looked very relieved, for some reason. Her mom continued. "You make lemon squares, lemon marmalade, lemon tarts." "Oh, Mom, lemons are tart to begin with," said Amelia Bedelia. "They're born tart." "Yes," said her mom, "that's why a lemon tart is so tasty. You know what? I'm craving lemon tarts right this minute. Let's make a batch." Amelia Bedelia and her mom headed for the kitchen. Amelia Bedelia's mother gathered the ingredients, got out her tart pans, and showed Amelia Bedelia how to make lemon tarts. Amelia Bedelia added extra lemons to the recipe. She had tons to use up after all. Amelia Bedelia and her mother and her father each ate a slice of lemon tart as soon as they had cooled. As her dad savored his last bite, he squeezed his eyes shut and shivered. "Wow," he said. "That was one tart. Bingo! Amelia Bedelia knew exactly how she would use up all of her lemons. She would make lemon tarts for everyone she knew, adding extra lemons to make them extra tart and extra special. The next day, Amelia Bedelia got right to work. She discovered a small tart pan in the pantry. It was perfect. With just a little bit of help from her mom, she baked a dozen bite-sized tarts. She packed them carefully in her lunchbox and put that in the basket of her miserable, rusty, beat-up bike. Then she headed off to Pete's diner. As she took a shortcut through the park, Amelia Bedelia saw the pink slip lady sitting on the same bench as before. Only now, instead of having just one dog, she was surrounded by at least a dozen dogs of all shapes and sizes and colors. "Hello, pink slip lady," Amelia Bedelia called out as she rode up. "That's me," said Diana, laughing. "And you must be the famous lemonade lady I saw on television, right?" Amelia Bedelia parked her bike next to Diana and the dogs. "Guess what? I took your advice," said Diana. "I started my own business, too. Here it is." She opened her arms to the dogs. "I loved walking my dogs so much that I decided to do it for a living. Now I'm a professional dog walker and trainer. See how well behaved they are?" "Wow," said Amelia Bedelia. Can they do tricks? Sure, said Diana, but usually I need treats to inspire them, and I'm all out. I'll have to pack more tomorrow. Do they like the taste of lemons? Asked Amelia Bedelia. She took out her lunchbox and gave Diana a tart to taste. Amazing, said Diana. It's so little and yet so tart. I make a very tart tart, said Amelia Bedelia. Do you think the dogs would like them? Diana broke off a piece of lemony tart and put it on top of Buster's wet nose. He didn't move. He just sat there, with the tiny piece balanced on his nose. He doesn't like it, said Amelia Bedelia. No, said Diana, I've trained him well. Watch this. Diana snapped her fingers. Buster sat up, flipped the piece of tart into the air, opened his mouth, and gulped it right down. He wagged his tail happily. He does like it, said Amelia Bedelia. She looked over at the other dogs. They were looking at Buster and at Amelia Bedelia, then at Buster, then back at her. What about them? Can they try a tart too? How many do you have? Said Diana. Amelia Bedelia set aside enough tarts for Pete and Doris. Then Diana showed her how to make the dogs sit and lie down and roll over and jump into the air. When the tarts were all gone, the dogs gazed at Amelia Bedelia and wagged their tails wildly. Look at them, said Diana. You made lots of furry friends today. They'll never forget your tarts or you. Thanks, Diana, said Amelia Bedelia. I love dogs. She patted them all one last time, got back on her bike, and waved as she rode away. Hey, Amelia Bedelia, Diana called. You should start a new business. You should call it Tart Tarts. Amelia Bedelia tried to ring the bell on her handlebars to let Diana know that she loved her suggestion, but it was broken and didn't make a sound. On her way to Pete's Diner, Amelia Bedelia took a detour by Wild Bill's Autorama. He wasn't there, so she left a tart for him with a note. She wrote, I'm sorry again about the sign. Here is one lemon I hope you'll like. Yours truly, Amelia Bedelia. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out with me again today for April Fool's Day. In case you didn't know, it's April 1st.
April Fool's Day.
I had my guest speaker today. So I hope you guys enjoyed today. The sun's out, and we will see you tomorrow. See ya. Bye.